Now, fluoroquinolones enter bacteria through porine channels, and they exhibit antimicrobial effects on DNA gyrase, which is also called bacterial topoisomerase 2, and also bacterial topoisomerase 4. Now, if we talk about topoisomerases, well, basically, topoisomerase 2 permits the orderly accommodation of the long bacterial chromosome in the bacterial cell. The bacterial chromosome is approximately 1,000 micrometers in size, and the topoisomerases allow it to be compacted within almost 1 micrometer of bacterial cell. Now, within the chromosomal strand, the double-stranded DNA has a double helix configuration. Now, this in turn is arranged in loops, and then these loops are then shortened by supercoiling. And this whole operation is catalyzed by gyrase or topoisomerase 2. Inhibition of DNA gyrase by the fluoroquinolones now results in the relaxation of the supercoiled DNA and promotes DNA strand breakage. And now the other target of fluoroquinolones are topoisomerases 4. So the inhibition of topoisomerase 4 impacts chromosomal stabilization during cell division. Now, thus interfering with the separation of newly replicated DNA. And so the DNA gets destroyed and replication is stopped by fluoroquinolones. But this action differs in different bacteria. It is observed that in gram-negative organisms, like for example Pseudomonas aeruginosa, the inhibition of DNA gyrase is actually more significant than that of topoisomerase 4. Now, whereas in gram-positive organisms like Streptococcus pneumonia, the opposite is actually true. Now, agents with higher affinity for topoisomerase 4, for example ciprofloxacin, should not be used for Streptococcus pneumonia. And while those with more topoisomerase 2 activity, for example moxifloxacin, should not be used for Pseudomonas aeruginosa infections. So that was all about the mechanism of action of fluoroquinolones. Now let's talk about its antimicrobial spectrum.